Okay guys, this is going to be a relatively quick and easy one, because this is the most ridiculous, most asinine, and least credible video game urban legend in existence ever. Now, since I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the actual horse shit, let's talk briefly about the background. Sonic the Hedgehog is one of the most recognizable icons in gaming. And believe it or not, for a while he rivaled Mario for mainstream acceptance and fame before being bombarded by a deluge of subpar games, questionable spin-offs, failed attempts at revival, and is now known as that series that the furries are way too into. Possibly the beginning of Sonic's downfall was the release of the Sega Saturn, for which there was no proper Sonic game. Sega's previous fiasco, the Sega 32X, also didn't have a proper Sonic game, giving us Knuckles Chaotix instead, which was a decent game, but on a system that pretty much no one gave a damn about. The Saturn is viewed today as a failure, but back in the day there was so much potential. Everybody was so filled with hope that the Saturn would be the proper follow-up to the Genesis that we had waited for, and many gamers were already aligning with the system over Sony's PlayStation. Despite the fact that the PlayStation turned out better, it was simply due to the fact that it was being made by Sega, the harbinger of many fond childhood memories. Sega made many mistakes with the Saturn, the first of which was releasing it suddenly and without warning several months before it was planned for release, leaving it with almost no promotion, third-party developers not able to support the game system at its abrupt launch. Some even boycotted the system because of it. But I think the biggest mistake was the cancellation of Sonic Extreme, the 3D Sonic game that never was. Instead, Sonic's fans had to contend with a few other games, but with varying degrees of crapitude. There was Sonic Jam, which was a collection of the Genesis games, which is pretty cool, but you could always just play the Genesis games themselves. Then there was Sonic 3D Blast, which isn't as bad as you've heard, but was also available on the Genesis, and truth be told was not really a Sonic game at all, having originated as an unrelated game called Flicky. Then there was Sonic R. Sonic R seems like a winning enough formula. It's a racing game. As Sonic's main claim to fame is speed, there's a cast of well-known supporting characters. Well, a racing game seems natural. You might be surprised that they hadn't tried it before, but they actually had. There were Sonic kart racing games on the Game Gear called Sonic Dash and Sonic Dash 2, but they were crappy Mario Kart knockoffs. Sonic R was the real deal, on-foot racing. So what went wrong? Well, the game just sucked. It had dull graphics, horrid controls, and worst of all, it had an incredibly annoying soundtrack, with the song choices being so bad that you'd be hard-pressed to find a Sonic R review that doesn't focus greatly on the music. It really is a shame that Sonic Extreme as it was cancelled, as it looked like a good game. If you watch footage of it, it sort of reminds you of Super Mario Galaxy, only 10 years earlier. So okay, I've wasted enough time. Here's the urban legend. The game initially had 4 characters you could choose from: Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. You could unlock 6 more characters: Dr. Eggman, Metal Sonic, Metal Knuckles, Egg Robo, Super Sonic, and Tails Doll. Yeah, kinda weird, but Tails Doll? What the fuck is that? Well, that's exactly what it sounds like. It's a Tails doll with some sort of gem attached to it. It floats eerily around the tracks and is probably the best character in the game, despite being, lame. You unlock the Tails doll, which is also occasionally called Puppet Tails, by playing the Radical City track. You have to collect all 5 Sonic tokens and finish in at least 3rd place, and then beat the Tails doll in a special challenge race, which was not easy. Now here's the insane part. For some reason, some people believe that the Tails doll is cursed, as in literally cursed. The ways to trigger the curse differ depending on who's telling the story, but it usually either involves unlocking the character, playing as the character, or playing the character's theme song, Can You Feel the Sunshine, either normally or backwards. Then some misfortune will befall you. Some people say you'll get sucked into the game, like Captain N. Some people say the Tails doll will come out of the game and murder you. And some people claim the game has the power to completely erase you from existence, that no one will ever remember you ever existed. Well, that's fucking convenient. Then how the hell would anyone know about the damn curse? Now, I know that there are people out there who believe in all sorts of supernatural stuff, and that's fine. Some people believe in religion, or ghosts, or the afterlife, or spirits, or communing with the dead, pantheons of gods, single gods, Lord Xenu, whatever. People trade ghost stories, and for some people, it's all in good fun, while others take it more seriously. But I'm going to come right out and say it. If you really believe that Sonic R is cursed in any way, shape, or form, and that playing it will lead to a doll murdering you, then you are fucking stupid. No arguments, no trying to reason with me on this, you're fucking stupid. I don't care if it's a matter of faith, or if you swear your cousin's, friend's, neighbor's kid was swallowed whole by a Sega Saturn, and that you witnessed this firsthand. If you believe this for even a second, you have subnormal intelligence. Normally, I wouldn't even cover something like this, but it's shocking how widespread it is, with people all over the internet claiming to have witnessed the curse firsthand. You think a legend about such an obscure game would die down, but unfortunately when the game was re-released for PlayStation 2 and GameCube as a part of the Sonic Gems collection, the whole thing started all over again. Some people have taken this legend and run with it, creating humor websites, parodious stories in which they write their own grisly deaths, and YouTube videos designed to make fun of the whole thing. The sad thing is, when you go to someone who really does believe in this, they point to these parodies as being evidence. Like I said, stupid. So, okay, proof, right? Well, you can't really disprove the supernatural because using logic against illogic just doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. So I'll merely point out that almost every account of this curse contradicts the others, and that most of the stories are directly ripped from horror movies, old urban legends, and scary stories. The Tails doll never appeared again, probably a good thing, as all things told, as it's a lame idea, and is now associated with an even lamer urban legend. Well, join me next time and I'll talk about something significantly less fucktarded.